to my music room. This is my French horn. It's called Alex. And Alex is really, well, it's Alex Jr. because my wife's French horn is called Alex Sr. And Alex Sr. was made before mine. So I get Alex Jr. and Mary Lynn's is Alex Sr. But I want to talk to you about music. In particular, do you know that there is over 128 different references in the Bible to music? Music and dance. I should point out dance as well. And you know, it says that whenever we do dancing or whenever we do music, we put a smile on God's face. That's why whenever I practice and I feel like, I don't feel like practicing, I think to myself, you know, I'm putting a smile on God's face. And so I got to thinking, you know, there's lots of different stories in the Bible about music. In fact, there's one about the city of Jericho. Now, the Israelites were trying to take the city of Jericho, and it was a huge, huge city. And they had massive high walls. I mean, really tall walls. And there was just no way they could go into that city. So God came to Joshua and said, Joshua, I'm going to let you have that city of Jericho. And Joshua said, how can that possibly be? I mean, it would take us years and years and years to ever get through those walls. Well, God said, here's what I want you to do. I want you to get your army and the Ark of the Covenant and the priests. And I want you to have the priests with trumpets and then the Ark of the Covenant and your army. And I want you every day for 7 days to go around the outside of that city of Jericho. So Joshua said, well, all right, God, if that's what you want, we'll do that. And then God said, but on the 7th day, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go around that city 7 times. And on the 7th time, I want you to have your army shout praises to God. Okay, if that's what you want, that's what they'll do. So he gathered together his army. He got together the Ark of the Covenant, and he got together the priests. And he said, I want the priests to go first, and I want them to blow their trumpets. I want them to make music. Then I want the Ark of the Covenant. Then I want my army. But I don't want anybody to talk. Nobody is to talk till I tell them to talk. So they went around the outside of that city on the first day. The trumpet music was unbelievable. It was loud, it was brassy, and the priests were blowing their instruments like crazy. And then on day 2, they did the same thing. Again, the priests were blowing their trumpets, and the army said nothing, absolutely nothing. They were just quiet as church mice, just unbelievably silent. Then it came to day 7. So Joshua got his army together and said, now, again, don't say anything until I tell you to say anything, until I tell you. And this time, though, we're going around the city 7 times. You can imagine the thought of going around this massive city of Jericho 7 times in one day. So they got up really early in the morning and off they went. And the first time they go around, again, the priests are blasting on their trumpets, making music all the way around. And then they come around the 2nd time, and a 3rd time, and a 4th time. You can imagine how tired they must have been getting. And then they get around the 5th time and the 6th time. And then on the 7th time, Joshua shouts out to his army, all right, praise God. So they all started shouting praises to God. And guess what happened? As they started around that first corner of the walls of Jericho, it started to crumble. They started to crack, and little rocks started to fall out of the walls. And as they got around the 2nd corner, again, more and more huge rocks were falling out of the wall. And by the time they came all the way around the city of Jericho, the walls came down. You couldn't believe it. The walls came down, and the army of Israel just walked right into the city of Jericho. All because they trusted God and made music to God. So you may say to yourself, well, you know, John, I can't sing and I don't play a musical instrument, but you can dance. You can sing. You know, we have a really, really good choir at the church, and they sing fantastic. But, you know, even if you don't sing like they do, or if you can't even carry a tune in a bucket, well, anytime you try, you put a smile on God's face. So, why not try that this week? Either dance to God and praise God, or sing a song to God, or play an instrument to God. Whatever your choice is, remember this: it puts a smile on God's face. So, thanks for sharing this time with me today, and I got to get back to my practicing. I'm praising God with it. Have a great day. Bye for now.